Hey everybody, we are back. We are live. So I want to reintroduce myself. My name is Vanessa Simmons. I am the founder of the Normalize Breastfeeding movement. And this is our 11th year running. So I'm on my morning walk right now. I thought it would be nice to just share some thoughts with you, share some updates with you, and get your feedback about what's coming next. So if you're already a subscriber, you know that we have a podcast that has been completely inconsistent. And this podcast, I want to remind y'all, this podcast was not started as a podcast. This podcast was started as a way to connect with advocates around the world before the global pandemic. Okay. So in 2015, we started to see lots of different cases of discrimination and lack of breastfeeding laws that existed all around the country and around the world. And I'm the type of person, I like to create solutions to problems. And so naturally, I started thinking, what could we do to benefit the culture around breastfeeding and motherhood? What could we do to really support these families? And I'm pretty tech savvy, so I decided, I can just go into Google Hangouts and create a meet or a meetup, however they call it, and record with them. And I didn't know at that time that it would save my YouTube channel, but then I found out that they saved to my YouTube channel. And so that's how it all started. We started with a big nursing at the Today Show. And we just started using, sorry, I'm walking over a bridge right now, as you can see. So we started out just trying to create a way for people to connect. And as I was continuing on, there were so many other opportunities with photography, opportunities with becoming a lactation educator, right? There were so many things that were kind of taking my attention away from this really amazing aspect of the movement, which was the podcast. This is where we were sharing stories. This is where we were uplifting families. This is where we were learning about people who had businesses in lactation and different IBCLCs and their struggles and what they were going through. And I never really focused on it. I never really put too much into just the podcast itself. I never, if you go back and look at the really old videos, you'll see that I didn't even have a backdrop, right? I had one picture on the wall in the back on the side, and I was sitting at my kitchen table, and I would do that at 5 o'clock in the morning because sometimes I would meet with people on the East Coast who were up at 8 a.m. So I would do it at 5 o'clock in the morning sometimes. And even our children would wake up in the middle of these recordings and they would come to the table while I was interviewing people, right? There were so many different crazy things that would happen with this podcast. But I was doing it at a time where video podcasts were not a thing, right? Audio podcasts were the only things that were kind of really taking off. And the video podcast was something that I felt like was really beneficial to the community because we could really see what was going on in different areas of the world. So fast forward, I work with all these big organizations doing photography, and then bam, the worldwide pandemic hits and everyone's floundering, trying to figure out what are they going to do to support families if they can't have online resources. Okay, I'm about to go up this really big hill right now, so bear with me if I start breathing really hard. So a lot of people were struggling to support their families online, and I started feeling like, this podcast can be a great opportunity to keep going. But I was also homeschooling my children at the time. I started homeschooling about 6 months before the pandemic hit, due to reasons that I can create a whole nother video if you want to know about homeschooling and why I started homeschooling and how amazing it is. If you want to know about that, leave a comment and I will definitely create another video for that. And if you haven't already seen, our domain is now coming to the YouTube channel, because I'm going to be putting a lot more effort into our podcast, into making more YouTube videos, not for the money, because I have my business, but it's more about just sharing my voice. This has been something that I've been struggling with for the last few years. Even though I'm a speaker and I speak at conferences, it's been hard to show up live and put myself out there and feel good about putting myself out there. And that's a whole nother topic as well. But so after the pandemic hit, we started putting all our efforts into the podcast, and I did a bunch of recordings with people, and I have a bunch of episodes that are literally just sitting on my computer. If you want to see them unedited, all you have to do is join our Normalize Breastfeeding podcast group on Facebook, because we were streaming them live to the Facebook group so that way people could interact with us while we were recording. So they are somewhere, but the edited versions are still in process. And so fast forward, right? We struggled with keeping that going because of homeschooling. And then my husband got laid off from his job in 2023, the end of 2023. And I was in a detrimental position because my business was not really doing anything because I was focused on homeschool. And my husband has been literally the sole provider of our website, of my email services. Like, he's been the one who's been investing into it this entire time. It's been 15 years, okay? 15 years of me being a photographer, 11 years of normalized breastfeeding. He has been the sole provider of all of those things. He's been behind the scenes, keeping it going. So when he got laid off, it changed everything. It changed the whole dynamic. We had to make some tough decisions, and now we're in a better position because he's working again. But I also had to step back into, during that time we had a nonprofit going for our International Day to Normalize Breastfeeding, and we were doing all the things to try and get people to do our surveys and get people to participate in trying to get donations and things like that. And as I started to look into other organizations, there were so many organizations that were already doing what we were doing. And when I say already doing what we're doing, like even the survey that we put out, there was a paid, or I should say sponsored survey, I think it was in Australia, that completely had like the same exact rhetoric of what we were trying to cover in our survey. And so I just decided that it wouldn't be a good thing to keep the nonprofit going if our family was struggling financially and we had all these additional requirements and regulations and things that we had to think about, and couldn't even keep the website up. Like, there was just so much going on. And even throughout that time, we lost our home. We lost the home that we built the normalized breastfeeding movement in. And that was the home where my daughter was born. There was just so much happened. And I have to stop for a moment and just give all praise and glory to the Most High, because he carried us through every single moment of it. And Some of the deepest, darkest moments where I thought I could not go on, he was there. And I almost gave up. I almost quit. I did quit as the executive director for the nonprofit because I was like, this is beyond my capacity right now. Like, we've just lost our home. I can't carry this right now. And that was last year. This year, last Saturday, we just voted to dissolve the nonprofit. Not because it's not valuable, but because it was not fulfilling the need. The actual need of this movement is to continue to share the stories, right? The podcast was the real diamond in the rough. The podcast was the thing that was really helping to keep this thing going. And I never focused on the YouTube channel until about 2021. During the pandemic, I started doing educational videos. If you haven't seen those, please check them out and share them. There's a lot of educational videos on there, and I have a whole series that I didn't finish because I was focused on what was going on with my family. So, all that to say, like, God is good. He has blessed me so much with this movement and this opportunity to support families, and not just to support families, because that's not exactly what I do. What I do through this movement is support those who are supporting the families. And that is what I want people to know about this, is our podcast exists so that we can further spread the word of what people are doing in the community to support families. So what I would love to do is see people, if you're interested in being on the podcast, send me an email at vanessa@normalizebreastfeeding.org, and that will be your opportunity to try and get some help to get onto the podcast. If you're looking to be a sponsor, or you want to be interviewed, or you want to share a product or something like that, just send me an email and we can connect. So that's the podcast update. I'm actually going to be recording every Monday afternoon this month only. Now I'm going to share some life updates. So if you want to get on the podcast, go ahead and email me. But the life update is that I just got accepted to Point Loma Nazarene University, and this has been something that I've been waiting on for the last 20 years. So 20 years ago, I was enrolled in a school where they were working with my work schedule, but my job was not working with my school schedule. And so when my work schedule changed, I was unable to attend classes. Even though they were at night, they moved my schedule back, so I couldn't attend the night classes. I couldn't make it to the school on time. And so because of that, I delayed school. I got married, had children, and then I had the opportunity to become a photographer and even to launch this movement. So I left kind of school in the background. I did go back to school multiple times during the time that I was a parent, just wasn't able to complete. And so I just got my acceptance into Point Loma Nazarene University 2 weeks ago. And the only reason I even applied was because I was looking into a scholarship to finish school, and the scholarship required that I was actually someone who was enrolled in school. So I was kind of forced to enroll in school, but it ended up all being a blessing in disguise, and helping me to see that there is a deeper and greater purpose. I'm going to be studying strategic communication, which is why I feel like this YouTube channel is so much more valuable now than it ever was in the past. Just really being able to get my voice out there. Next week, I'm going to be speaking at the Kaiser Symposium their Kaiser Virtual Breastfeeding Symposium. If you're looking for information on that, just click the link in the bio and you'll be able to find that. I'm going to take a quick break. Whew. This is a good walk. How many steps did I get? 3,202. Let me look at these comments. Can you say hi to me? Hi, Gabriel. I don't know who you are, but hi. And CY Fishy GT, why are you talking? Because that's what I do, baby. That's what I do. Okay. I'm a speaker. I'm a photographer. I'm an entrepreneur. If you don't know, now you know. All right. We've been around longer than most people have even considered YouTube. Okay. So YouTube is not the end all be all. YouTube is just the platform to get the message across. And the message of normalizing breastfeeding is that support is best. No matter how you feed your baby, support is best. I come from a background of exclusively pumping to exclusively breastfeeding to supplementing with formula, and then going back to exclusive breastfeeding, and then even exclusive breastfeeding for 3 whole years. So a wide range of different experiences, and that's why I support everyone, no matter what their cause, no matter what their experience, no matter how you feed your baby, support is best. Let's see. So the last thing I was going to talk about are just some updates. I shared about the podcast life updates, and then updates about what's coming. So yes, so the podcast is going to be the thing that I'm going to be focusing on. If you go to normalizebreastfeeding.org, you will not see the website up any longer. However, you will be able to get access to this YouTube channel. Please subscribe, follow, share, all the things, all the YouTube thingy things that you have to do. Social media was my thing for a really long time, and I stepped away due to burnout. And as I was homeschooling my children, I started to see that I was so burned out from like the previous 5 years that I really needed to take time to reflect and rest and really reframe the way that things were going. And because of that, that has now given me the opportunity to have more clarity and have more vision about what's to come. And so I want to give a shout out to our treasurer, who is Tamara Peterson. We now have dissolved the nonprofit, but she helped us design and word the new vision statement, which is, I believe it's our mission statement, which is normalizing breastfeeding for generations to come. And I just love that so much, because ever since I was trying to heal from all of the burnout, that has been kind of my main focus, has been like staying focused on generational impact. And so if you know, I wrote my book, Latch the Gap. That book is all about how we can help parents to advocate for themselves, because in moving forward, it's not only about the providers being there, it's about parents knowing how to stand up for themselves in the most difficult situations, whether it's related to their birth or related to their feeding experience. So normalizing breastfeeding for generations to come is our new mission statement. And the vision is really to just share our stories on the Normalize Breastfeeding podcast and promote breastfeeding and support it and protect it the way that we are called to do through the WHO code of international breast milk substitute marketing. We do not affiliate with any formula companies, even though formula has been used in the past, and we do support families who supplement with it. And the reason why is because they use breastfeeding as their standard. They do not use breastfeeding as something that a competitor, but rather they know that breastfeeding is the gold standard, and that they have to try to live up to it. And so in all of their marketing, you will see that they really try to get moms to see that how much their product is just like breastfeeding and how it can feel just like breastfeeding, but it's not. So don't be swayed. Get the support that you need to reach the feeding goals that you have. And if you decide that you want to formula feed, all better to you, but we will not have any formula marketing or formula incentives on this channel. So I am so grateful for those of y'all who stopped by and chatted with me today. Don't forget to follow Normalize Breastfeeding on YouTube. We're on TikTok as Normalize Breastfeeding OG. And we are also on Facebook and Instagram as Normalize Breastfeeding Official. If you have any questions about the podcast or you want to get involved, send me an email. It's vanessa@normalizebreastfeeding.org. And I think that's it for now. See y'all soon. Bye.